If you've been down the manifestation rabbit hole, you've most definitely heard of Neville Goddard. If you have not, he was a 20th century mystic, an author, and someone who was a lecturer. He would talk about things like conscious creation. He taught specifically the law of assumption, where you assume something to be true and then that materializes into your reality. He also talks about living in the end, in which you already live in your desired reality. Every single day you act as if you are the version of yourself who has what you desire, and then it will show up to you. He was very appreciated and very educated in his space. And he talks about one thing in specific in his books. I highly recommend everybody go on Amazon and pick up the Neville Collection. This was an absolute game changer for me, and I've learned so much through this. And it's all 10 of his books in one, and he just goes over such beautiful ways of perceiving reality. Now, his primary belief was that we all create in the 4D, in our imagination, okay, that everything is created from within, and that our fourth dimension is actually God. It is the I am. It is the extension of consciousness. And I'm going to be going into that a little bit in this video, so feel free to stick around. And I believe that the methodology, feeling being the secret here, is going to really transform your life, and it's going to bring major change when it comes to bringing in manifestations at a more rapid speed. If you don't know who I am, you can call me Fourth Dimension Farah, you can call me 4D Farah, or you can call me I am, because that is more fitting. But regardless, let's just dig right into the video. So if you don't know what manifestation is, I want to establish what that is first. Manifestation is the process of bringing a thought or an idea into fruition, okay? So you really want a red car, you think about the red car shows up in reality. That's a simple way of putting manifestation. So Neville Goddard would talk on this all the time. He'd lecture about this, like I said, in the 20th century. But there was something in his book that really moved me and was really paramount for my manifestation journey. And that is the fact that your feeling of the manifestation already being done, the feeling of it, is the secret to actually accessing that version of yourself. Now, in the fourth dimension, okay, in your imagination, every version of yourself is completed. It is already established and it is existing on a different timeline. So if you wanted to think about yourself as an astronaut or think about yourself as a millionaire, that version of you is already existing, which is great. So every version of you that you want to step into, or every desire that you have, a version of you has that, and that's already done. Now, that's all and great, and you could visualize that, and you could think about that, and you could put yourself in those shoes, but what does it feel like? You know, what does it truly, truly feel like? To feel things and to elicit the emotion of the wish fulfilled, or elicit the emotion of having the actual manifestation, is what he's talking about being the secret to actually bring it into your experience. Because if you're going to be affirming or visualizing or doing a specific technique, a 369 method, or whatever people are doing nowadays, and you're doing it from a space of not feeling the feeling of having it and from a space of lack, then you're going to be actually manifesting more lack for yourself. So in order to solidify something, if you feel like you have a lot of resistance or there's a lot of confusion around this, we have to bring up these emotions that we'd be experiencing if we're trying to manifest something. And that's what he really talks about is there's two separate feelings that you're experiencing at one time, okay? Because we have the ego, which are the thoughts that are arising to you, which is your name and the labels that you put on yourself and, you know, what's on your driver's license, that's your ego. And then there's the I am, the awareness, which is you, that is observing the ego, which is observing the thoughts that are arising to you, which is observing your license and your identity and your name. These are all things that were given to you, the ego, so the awareness can be aware of them. If you could be aware of it, it's not you, and I could dig into that into a whole nother video. So now that we've established that, we need to bring our attention on our awareness and what are we being aware of when we're actually doing a technique or when we're actually thinking about a manifestation. What are we aware of? Are we aware of the fact that we don't have it and we want to bring that into our reality? Or are we aware of the fact that we do have it and it feels really good, or it feels very safe for us, that this is what we want to experience more of? Okay, and that's the two big stark differences. There's lack, and then there's the having, the abundance, the complete, and then the incomplete. So in order to truly impress the subconscious mind, which acts in ways outside of our awareness, okay, we need to impress it by feeling and repetition. So you need to repetitively have a feeling about a specific desire in order to bring it into reality. So he talks about those two states of being, the lack state and the having state, and whichever state is more predominant or whichever one you're spending more time in is going to be what you're experiencing. So you could be saying, I'm doing all the techniques, I'm visualizing, I'm affirming, I'm scripting, I'm X, Y, and Zing, and I'm not seeing a change. Well, one, I'm going to say, what are you putting your awareness on? Are you putting your awareness on that you don't have the thing? Are you trying to bring about a manifestation by doing a technique? Or are you acting as if you already have it? Are you living in a space and time in which it is already your current reality? Are you doing that affirmation from a place to remind yourself that you have it? Okay? We need to feel it. We need to know what it feels like to have it. So an example of this is going to be if you're trying to manifest SP, which SP in manifestation community means specific person. I've gotten a few comments on that on my TikTok. So that really means a specific person. Could be romantic, could be platonic, friendship, boss, parental, whatever sort of figure of a being this is. It's a person that you want to bring into your reality, showing up in a specific way. So if we were trying to manifest SP, and it's going to be romantic in this sense, we're going to bring about the feeling of what it would be like to be with this person. And I've used this as an example. Say there is a couple in a movie or a TV show that you really want to be together, okay? There's some hopeless romantic, like slow burn relationship, and every time you see them on the TV, you're like, my heart just yearns for this couple. I wish that they would just be together. And you could feel the feeling of like when they finally first kiss or they finally get together, you're like, oh my God, yes, And if you haven't had that experience, I'm sorry to hear that, but you probably have. Okay, this could be the same for reading a book or just simply watching an anime, like whatever this is, like there's that feeling of love. And say if you didn't watch a TV show and have that experience, how does it feel when a person in your life who you really value takes care of you, nurtures you, hugs you, tells you that they care about you, or just listens to what you have to say? That's what it feels like to be loved, to be held, to be cared for. We want to elicit that feeling, okay, that we established just now when we're thinking about specific person or when we're thinking about having that person in our life. As we're doing a technique, as we're doing our visualization practice, as we're thinking on a day-to-day basis, because you truly don't need a technique, and I can get into that into another video, but what you really need is to impress that subconscious mind, is to use that fourth dimension to create as God, as the creator, and bring about real manifestation and change into your 3D. You just have to act as if, but you have to feel it as well. Because if we're just acting things out, we're going to feel like we're a robot and like it's not clicking, like it's just bouncing off of us. And we're missing the plot. That's why when he talks about feeling being the secret, it's so true. Because when I would sit down and I would identify as a person who had the healthy body that I wanted, that's why I got into manifestation, I needed to feel healthy, regardless of the aches and pains that I was experiencing and regardless of what my physical body felt like in that moment. I needed to feel what it felt like to be that version of Farah who was already healthy and who had the body of her dreams and the health of her dreams, most definitely. So if there's anything to take away from this, it's really be aware of how are you showing up in your reality when you're doing a specific technique or in your day-to-day life. Are you feeling feelings that are perpetual? Are you stuck in a loop? It's probably because you're continuously putting your awareness on feeling a specific way and you're continuously manifesting that for yourself. If you change what you're putting your awareness on and you bring about the emotions, the experiences, the gratitude, the love, the wealth, the health that you desire while thinking about a specific manifestation that you want to bring into existence, it is destined to happen in your reality. That is the law. If you can think it, if you could put your awareness on it, you could have it. If you could desire it, you could have it always. But you need to make sure that you're feeling the equivalent or proper feelings that it would be if you were to have that exact experience or that exact manifestation. And that's why Neville Goddard saying feeling is the secret, it all clicked for me. Things unfolded like wildfire in my life because I finally was able to access not just thinking about what I wanted, but feeling it and putting myself in such a realistic expression and version of that experience that it was like I was there. And another really wonderful way to think about your experience that you're having is that you're only ever 1 second long. You could time travel by what you put your awareness on. If you could think about last Wednesday, what were you doing last Wednesday? And then you visualize that, you just time traveled to the past. Congratulations. If you think about the future next Wednesday, it's the same thing. So you are only ever 1 second long. You're only ever this one frame of being. So if you want to be where you want to be, bring yourself there by visualizing it and feeling it and knowing that it is in existence right now, because you cannot go back to last Wednesday. Even though you can bring your awareness there, you're not there. You're always here. You've always been here. And when you were in last Wednesday, you were still right here. So feel it and know it to be true that what you desire is already established and finished here today, right now. I can go off on a tangent on this, so I'm not going to, but I'm going to leave you with this one thing. You can create anything you want in this reality as long as you could feel it now and know that it is done in this moment in time. There is nothing outside of you that can give you what you want other than the awareness of you already having it. Everything is already completed in the fourth dimension, in our imagination. Feel it, know it to be true, know it to be done. You are a very powerful being. You are an extension of God. You are I am. So I hope that this could be helpful. I hope that this opened up your mind a little bit today. Feel free to let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell because I will be back. And also too, if you want to affirm that you have everything that you desire, that you already live in your desired reality in the comments, feel free to do so too. It's always wonderful to remind ourselves of what we already have. So thank you, and I'm signing off.